My name is Veronica Very. I am founder and visionary of Wonder of Women International and Wow Gallery, author, creator of Dear Sista, the book, and the experience.
Luxury travel news.
So tell me, what made you want to open an art gallery?
Wonder of Women is a Black love story, and this art gallery experience is a demonstration of the work that we've been doing in over 44 cities across the nation and in South Africa. After the pandemic, we wanted to create space and place for healing as a cultural destination experience where people could come and feel safe, where people could see themselves and really protest in our own way.
Could you tell us about the love story?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can't just say that and blow over it. I thought you were going to get into it. You know what I mean? Let's get the love story.
Okay, so in 2016, excuse me, I need to get water for myself.
Here you go.
Always happy to talk about that. I got the vision for Wonder of Women in 2014 during a business trip in South Africa.
Okay.
It wasn't until 2016 that I shared that vision with a girlfriend. And immediately she asked me, who's going to do your marketing? Who's going to help you create your website? And I told her, I said, well, I haven't explored that just yet. And she said, you need to call Hiawatha. I'm going to make an introduction.
What's his name?
His name is Hiawatha.
Oh my God. This is starting like a black novel right now.
It means he who builds rivers. That's
Got
the
it.
meaning of his name. And
It's more native, right, than African?
interestingly enough, yeah, it's native and Black.
Okay.
Yeah, so African.
Right.
So
I think it's Aztec, if I'm not mistaken.
is that right? Okay.
Might be.
All right.
Don't quote me on it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
She made the introduction, an email introduction to Hiawatha. I picked up the phone and called him after the introduction, and he and I had an epic conversation around co-creation.
Okay.
And how critical it was for me to have a partner who could design to what I see. So that was really the stipulation for hire. And
That was his consultation?
That was a consultation.
His 30-minute consultation?
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
It turned into a couple hours.
Wow.
Because we connected so deeply when I shared the vision over the telephone, to the end that when I hung up the phone, I paid him in full before the project was started or completed.
Oh, he's good.
He was really good.
Hiawatha was laying the game,
Hiawatha.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It was natural. It was organic. It was clearly, for me, connected to my vision, and I wanted a partner like that.
Okay. So
let's
talk about the vision itself. What is it that was motivating you to build something like this?
Okay, so the vision was to create sacred space for Black women and girls to do their healing work, because the ultimate vision was to connect our countries by way of a bridge of healing, education, ancestry, and liberation, so that we could experience seeing ourselves, affirmation, validation, celebration, empowerment, and transformation.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And was there a moment in your life that kind of called for something like this, for you to produce something like this? Usually when we build something, it's because we either have some sort of chip or something that we're extremely passionate about.
It was really in my professional career. I had been traveling globally, organizing delegations of women leaders from all over the world for high-profile experiences in China and different parts of the world. And those experiences did not reflect me in terms of the delegates and the women leaders who came to meet for high-level edutainment experiences in China.
Talk to me about one of these experiences.
Oh my gosh.
Or the one that sparked it, that was like, all right, I had enough of this. I don't feel like I'm being spoken to.
So the biggest experience for me was when we partnered with USC to bring the top 15 business school students to pair them with these women leaders from all over the world for the experience. I did not see us. And because I was at the table, I was able to insist that we are intentional about including Black women in the space, in the experience. And as a result, the conviction for me started there, because I didn't want to create a situation where I was bringing people back to China, but actually bringing people who look like me back to Africa, the continent of Africa, the motherland.
And are you saying Africa in a figurative way, or are you saying Africa in the literal sense?
Africa in the literal sense. I wanted to create an educational and entertaining experience for Black women and girls to remember who they are in the context of the continent of Africa.
Excellent.
And the context of their ancestry.
So when you decided to venture off, what was one of the biggest hurdles that you had in creating such a space for Black women?
Thank you so much for asking me that. The biggest hurdle was my unapologetic stance for Black women. My unapologetic stance for the need for us to see us to heal us to connect with us, and the impact that our healing would have, not just on ourselves, but the community and the world. That was the biggest. Prior to George Floyd, and God rest and relocate his power and energy to another place, the doors were slammed in my face because I was unapologetic about Black women.
Let's talk about that, because I've only been here a couple of days, and I would say there's something missing from the soul of the community. Mm-hmm. So when I walked in here, I was extremely surprised, because it feels like I walked into some sort of beacon, for the city of Seattle, the Black community of Seattle. Could you talk about, like, how was it for you to convince people to allow you to build this here in the downtown Seattle area? Because Nordstrom's is across the street. This is basically like the Fifth Avenue of Seattle, and although it's a little barren due to the pandemic and stuff, you still have an amazing location, an amazing gallery. Could you speak to how you would manage to just like surpass all of that?
So I'm giving pause, if you'll allow me, because it's a deep question that takes me to a real place. What I learned in doing this work is that it is necessary for us to reconnect with the economic corridor so that we would reconnect our families with an elevated position in our finances, in our health, in our community, period. So this location was very intentional, and it was also ancestral, because you sit in the space where my late daughter, who passed away from sickle cell, held her first job.
Wow.
It was in this space that actually I used to come and pick her up for lunch, or she and I would have, a stroll through, the dressing rooms, trying on different things that are now the healing suites that we've converted into healing suites. So ancestral power, I believe, helped to open doors for us here in the economic corridor. As far as Nordstrom is concerned, I work for Nordstrom, the flagship Nordstrom. I
Okay.
work there. I opened Nordstrom at the Grove in Los Angeles. It, it
Yeah.
too was born here in
We
Seattle.
get it. You do big things.
Yeah.
We
But
get
I
it.
mean,
I would love to ask you, what do you think your daughter would say to you today?
I'm proud of you. I see you, Mom. Thank you for making sure my pain wasn't in vain.
Excellent. I'm sorry to take it there.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, it's important.
It is important. Yeah.
We need to feel connected,
We do.
and I feel like I wish everyone would see this place.
Thank you so much.
It's important. I think if we don't see ourselves in certain positions, then it's hard for us to believe that we could even achieve it.
Exactly.
And for you to be in here, I know it's just like, I can imagine I can imagine the burden that you have as well.
Thank you.
Trying to maintain this. So those weren't even the questions for the thing. This is just warming
can
up,
I say
getting to know
this?
you. Yeah.
So this is our form of a protest. We choose to protest in the high place by pointing us to possibilities, the possibility of Black excellence. You referred to possibilities and how critical and necessary it is for us to see us achieving, progressing, elevating, rising. So love, light, liberation, and legacy is the framework for Wonder of Women. Love because you got to love yourself before you love anyone else. And love because there was a love experience that changed the trajectory of your life. And then light because when the light comes on, you get a chance to see some stuff, right? You get a chance to be in sacred, safe space that allows you to see you reflected back to you. See what you've been denying, suppressing, ignoring, avoiding, so that you can be free by telling the truth about what that is, and then recognizing the behaviors that you kind of look to protect yourself and save yourself. And then when you tell the truth about what that is in terms of, what you see, then you get a chance to experience liberation. Liberated for what? We need to remember our purpose, our passion, our power. And so much of our creativity has been subjecticated, exploited, and colonized into the entertainment and fantasy of others. And so therefore, the necessity and criticality of us seeing ourselves helps us to remember our power, remember our creation power, and the necessity for us to co-create if we are to activate those high place thoughts that were inside of our mother's womb so that we can leave a legacy.
There's something that you touched on when you were speaking on light, and it just made me think that at the end of the day, as human beings, we all want to feel safe. And that's really the first step. And the problem is, it's been so chaotic for us to even, when it is safe, we can't even believe it. All of us are very insecure. And when you create spaces like this, they'll come, they'll see what it is. And sometimes it's still going to be a little bit harder to sink in. It's just that we just need more of it. We need to see a lot more of it.
We do. I agree with you.
I want to get to something that I ask a lot of people like yourself, and a lot of people that are successful at what they do, or that they're happy at, the decisions they made with their careers and things like that. You have to be really honest when I ask you this. If someone were to ask you, who are you? And another person asks, what do? Do you find yourself giving the same answer?
I do. What you see expressed here in this space is a reflection of who we are. It is a reflection of why we get up in the morning. It is a reflection of our conviction for our passion and our intention and our unapologetic love for our people. It's a reflection of our knowing that we are here at such a time as this for this. And this, I know, will create opportunity for other people to see themselves and remember their purpose. So yeah, what you see is what you get, and a reflection of what's already inside of us.
Do you feel that the trajectory that you had before you started WOW and all these things, do you think it was something that helps everything that you're doing now? Or do you feel like, oh, I wish I had just started this from the gate? Like, where are you with it?
One of the most powerful lessons and learnings in my life was that my life is a journey. And so knowing that it was a journey helped me to transcend some of the most difficult, some of the most painful, heart-shattering circumstances in my life. And so what I know is not just the painful, heartbreaking circumstances, but also those powerful learnings that set me on a global stage. It was in preparation for this. Like, I was headed here. My husband was headed here. We were headed toward one another. So knowing that life was a journey and that I would travel and go different places and see different things, and that would be my form of education and liberation, it helped me to appreciate the fact that whatever it was that I was going through, I was headed somewhere. So it makes sense to me now.
Luxury Travel News.